On today's episode, we're going to be talking about which Instagram growth services are legit and which ones you should be avoiding. I think it's no secret that at this point that buying fake followers and fake engagement is going to do a lot more harm to your account than good. So allow me to go through each of the different types of growth services that you may be being offered out there so you know how to make the best decision for when they do reach out to you. The first type is those that just offer you likes, all right? These are companies that have a ton of different bot accounts, and if you pay for likes, then as soon as your post comes up, then all of their bot accounts like it, and it looks like you get a ton of likes. And I had a friend recently do this, and it was kind of funny because when I first saw the post in the feed, I was like, holy cow, she got a ton of likes. She's like, her reel is taking off. She's at like 700 likes. And then when I looked at the views from it, which I was expecting to be tens of thousands, it was only at 800. So it's like 700 likes and 800 views. And it was pretty obvious that it was purchased likes. And because of that, the likes to reach ratio really showed that Instagram didn't acknowledge those likes in their algorithm. The main reason why people really like to buy these likes before is when Instagram couldn't really detect if they were from a bot account or a real account, these likes that you would buy would actually help you start trending on hashtags and could actually really help your account grow because it would just make all the hashtags in the explore page turn on from those likes. Now Instagram can really detect when they're fake likes or not, and it doesn't reward you with any kind of extra added reach. So buying likes is out. You never want to do that. The next service would be one like Simplygram. I'm going to show you on my computer here how it works, but essentially what they do is you pick out some influencer accounts that have a following exactly like the following that you're trying to target. So for me, let's say that I wanted to target Gary Vaynerchuk's followers, and then this program, Simplygram, what they use is 25 to 100 Instagram accounts are created on your behalf, and they start DMing that person's follower list and commenting and liking on their posts and saying, hey, you should check out Derek Videll's content. Here's his page. And you guys probably get messages like this all the time. And I'm sure that you probably don't really respond to those because most people don't respond to these random DMs from random accounts telling you to go follow someone else's account. Ultimately, the followers that you do get from using a service like Simplygram are real just because they're not making bot accounts follow you. They're just using bot accounts to DM and comment and like on real accounts, and then hopefully they come back to you. But it's just such a weird way of growing. I think a lot of you probably hear this and you're like, look, even if it would get me followers and even if they would be real, it's not really something that I want to do because it's just not a marketing technique a lot of people are comfortable with. And I think that that is a totally valid reason to not do something if it is not in line with your ethics as a company to be having all these bot accounts just randomly engage on people's accounts out there. Then stick to your ethics there and just be patient because the followers will come in time. You don't really need to be taking these shortcuts like with services like Simplygram. Another service would be one called Trusy, and this one, again, will get you real followers, but these ones are really going to ruin your account. How Trusy works is they do a lot of Instagram growth giveaways and loop giveaways, as they're called, and celebrity partnership giveaways. Now, if you know me, social media giveaways, I think, are one of the best things that you can possibly do to grow on Instagram. However, almost every single giveaway that you see run out there is run wrong, in my opinion. They are run with completely random prizes. They're run with like 20 influencers involved. They're run with all these other businesses involved. And these loop giveaways, they might get you a lot of followers, but once it's over, they pretty much all unfollow you. And if you are participating in this big giveaway that has like 20 other companies, it gets you a ton of very untargeted people. Like if you were an account that sells like baby clothes and you were in this giveaway and some of the other things in there were like an Amazon gift card or like a tablet, and then you got your baby clothes in there, you're going to get a bunch of random people entering that were trying to win the other stuff that want nothing to do with your product following you. So it would almost be better if they unfollow you after the giveaway, but a bunch of them will still follow you and never really like or engage with your stuff, and that will just really kill your engagement. So using loop giveaways and such like this with Trusy Social, I would highly recommend against. Some of their other services, maybe, but for the most part, any kind of growth service that is taking a shortcut is rarely going to work out well for you, apart from just inflating your vanity metrics quickly. So if that's what you're really trying to do, just get your following number up regardless of who they are, then go for it. But most of you are businesses, so growing with services like this is really not a good way to do it. So what would be an example of a legit Instagram growth service? Well, one of the ways that you can do this is by paying for shoutouts from large accounts in your market and just having them shout out a piece of your content or really whatever they're willing to do. Some of them are willing to let you just give them anything that you would want them to post on your behalf. And then some of them have a very strict way of doing it so they don't kill their own account's engagement. And those are probably a little bit better to work with because they've made sure to keep their engagement good by not just allowing any post to go on their feed. So maybe for me, I can find some pages like Millionaire Mentor and a bunch of pages that are very similarly named to that and have a bunch of entrepreneurs following them. And I can pay them to shout me out on their story or do various other things. And a lot of times these will come out to less than 25 or 30 bucks. And a lot of times you can bundle this and get an even better deal. Now, this will get you some good followers, but what you really want to watch out for is to make sure that these accounts that you're buying these shoutouts from actually have people from your target countries that you're looking to grow in, as well as your target age demographic. So I always try to ask for a screenshot from these people, not just take their word for it, but take a screenshot of their demographic so I can make sure that at least that part lines up. A lot of these accounts do have fake followers because since they are in a business where they get to charge more per post based on how many followers they have, they might try to grow their own account with fake followers just so they can try to charge you more and make it seem worth the cost, or maybe they buy more likes. So there's a lot of room for this to go wrong, although there's only so much that can kill your account from this because the only people that will come over from their shoutouts are real people that would then in turn follow you. So you can get some real followers from this, and this is something that I did in the past to really grow my following. However, there was something that I did not expect to run into, and this is a problem that I really want you guys to know about when working with these accounts that do paid shoutouts. If they offer a paid shoutout with a guaranteed amount of followers to come with it, that is a red flag. This is not something that can be guaranteed. In any room of 1 million people, you can't guarantee that if I shout out to these 1 million people to go follow your account versus someone else's account, that you're going to get anywhere near the data that someone else would, right? If they have an amazing Instagram account, obviously that's going to translate to followers. So your Instagram account, whether it's something people want to follow or not, will determine the results that you get from these shoutouts. So when these companies try to guarantee you a certain level of followers before they've really looked into anything, it is definitely something to watch out for. And this actually happened to my account because I had bought some shoutouts from this one guy that owned multiple pages in the entrepreneur and business space. And he said, if you pay me this amount of money, I will shout you out from all of these accounts until you hit this many followers. And until you hit that many followers, I won't stop shouting you out. So I said, hey, that sounds fair enough. And it makes sense because you'll just keep shouting me out. So, hey, I don't really have anything to lose. Like if no one's really following my account, it's just going to make him shout me out longer until I get the followers. But what they were doing in this case is they were shouting me out from all these pages and they were aggressively doing so. So it always made sense where these followers were coming from. But every time they would shout me out, they would also pump some fake followers into my account just so that they could be sure to be hitting their own numbers of the guaranteed followers that they had promised me. So whenever they guarantee any kind of results, then that is where you really want to watch out for any of these growth services. If you're just simply paying for a shout out and the engagement looks good and it's a cheap cost, hey, you might as well throw some money at the wall and see if it works. And if it works for you, great, then you can get some more followers. But a lot of times you can pay these accounts with upwards of 100K followers to shout you out for anywhere from 10 to 50 bucks. And sometimes you'll get, 50 to a couple hundred followers from it if your account looks good and you actually chose a good account to post with. And that could be a nice little boost for you to get those extra followers that are actually real. So as far as most of these growth services go, I get asked all the time, like, what about this one that just DMs a bunch of people for me, or this one, like these loop giveaways? Guys, if you want to learn how to do a giveaway, listen to episode 146 of my podcast. And also, I'll be doing a giveaway myself on episode 200 of this show. So you can watch how I do a giveaway on that episode, which is probably one of the best ways to learn it from me. But listen to episode 146 of this podcast, Social Bamboo Podcast, for those of you listening on YouTube, on how to run an Instagram giveaway that gets you 10K followers. And those are very targeted customers, not just regular followers. But that is how you would want to do giveaways for growth. You would not want to do something like this with the loop giveaways or anything where you participate with a bunch of different influencers, because you're just going to get totally random followers. So I would not recommend most of these growth services. The only thing I would recommend is paying for a shout out from the large accounts in your industry, or even going shout out for shout out with some of the other accounts in your market if you can start to form those collaborations. Taking a shortcut is almost always going to hurt you in the long run, so be patient with your Instagram growth. And if it's really not going at the rate that you're wanting to, and you're doing everything you can with reels and posting all the time, then considering paid ads in some way might be a good thing for you to do. And that's also something that will be touched on in episode 146. So if you really want to learn my favorite growth strategy, check out that episode. Otherwise, in the meantime, just chill out. The followers will come to you, and a lot of these short-term solutions would ultimately be your long-term demise. So I would stay away from them. Stay tuned for episode 200 coming out 1 week from today, and I'll see you there.